Hi, everybody. This is Darth Daddy of Customs for the Kid, and I have my co-host here, Elias Fulton of Customs for the Kid.
Hey
And
guys.
today, we're going to be speaking with Jeremy Munnerlin of Bad Batch Customs on how to make Star Wars custom vehicles. It's something that we're not really familiar with. We've always really done more Star Wars custom action figures. So when you get somebody who has a lot of expertise, we figured it would just be a great guest to have on to share that knowledge with you. So even though we can't provide that to you, we bring on a professional who can. And welcome on Customs for the Kids YouTube channel, Jeremy.
Hey guys.
As you can see, he's got a lot of awesome stuff back there, and today we're going to be talking about it. Elias prepared a lot of questions, and maybe I'll throw in a couple follow-up questions. But yeah, take it away, Elias, and
Okay,
we'll
cool.
get into this.
So, what got you into customizing, and how has that really developed your relationship with your son?
Well, I'll tell you what got me into customizing. It's funny you ask, because it was your dad's website.
No kidding.
I was looking for a Pong krill, and I Googled images, and that one came up because Battle of Umbra?
Umbara. I find with Star Wars, everybody pronounces everything different, but I feel it's all right because
George Lucas changes it up.
Yeah,
People can do it whatever they want.
yeah, I've heard Hoth as Hoth. I've heard Hoth as where it just said it. So
By the way, that's a tremendous toy opportunity they never made, because they never made the planet folks.
yeah,
They never made that. They never made their gunship. I've often considered making that ship, the one that the guys flew in, and who was it that sacrificed himself? Heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy flew in the big bomb. Remember, they stole the ships.
Yep.
And they never, dude. There could have been a battle pack with Pone Krill, one planet person, and an ARC trooper that would have just blown the world.
I saw there was an artist, Sneak Pick Customs made a really good Umbaran soldier.
Really?
Yeah, I would if you ever want to check out some really cool Clone Wars customs, Sneak Pick.
With the helmet and everything?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And I forget his recipe. I wish I remembered now off the top of my head, and I can't, unfortunately.
Hey, come see. Look who just showed up randomly.
Is it Copeland?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, all right. I'm glad you made it. I didn't think you were gonna because it's Saturday night, and I didn't know if you'd make it through.
What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going? I'm glad you made it, man. I didn't know if you were gonna make it on.
Yeah, no, I was just coming by to check in and check out the sail barge and everything.
Oh, did you add the lights or anything yet?
I haven't even opened it. I was waiting for him.
No way.
I was waiting for
you're
him.
in for a treat.
You could have told me.
Nice.
What y'all been up to?
Just not much today. Like he had a party. I kind of hung back and drove him around. I played chauffeur today, and we only just got home like 8 o'clock, and now we're gonna interview you guys and talk Star Wars custom vehicles.
What materials do you use to like make your vehicles? Do you use like wings, panels, like solid pieces from other vehicles? Like what pieces do you use?
Well, let me finish one thing. I got into customizing because I went to your dad's website because I was looking for a Pone Krill character, and man, I was blown away about what you could do with them. You know, all of a sudden it wasn't what was made or offered to you; it was what you could make, and man, that kind of blew my mind. And the problem-solving aspect of looking at a picture and then saying, how do I do this? I got really into how I do this.
Yeah.
Like the magnets, the lighting, voltages, the Dremels, the bits, how you use them, the different plastics, the different paints, Citadel paint, latex paint, the matte finishes, and slowly how do you do the lines, and just all those things to really go from just making something cool to making a 100% accurate Z95 and not compromising until you got it. Because I can tell you this, if your wings sit a little too further, you got to cut them off. And you got to move back. And that's what makes a good customizer, is that they're willing, if it's not right, to do the work or find the solution to make it right. And that's really what I like.
Yeah, I agree.
And dude, even since before I ever built my first one, your dad helped me the whole way through. He responded. He talked. You know, it was, hey, this is cool. You know, what's up? A lot of times you don't ever hear back from anybody on that. And I'm sure your dad, you know, he gets a lot of, yeah, I'm going to build this and I'm going to build that. And they just, you know, basically chop up a toy and they never get around to it. But when you can actually get somebody to, I mean, your dad's website brought a legitimate 3.5, 375 Z95, Walker open top, gunship carrier. That's toys they've never made before. Not that I know of.
No, I've never seen them made ever.
No, and those are like,
those are dream toys to me.
Right, yeah. I mean, who's gonna buy 3 Walkers and put a Dremel to them and chop them up? Hey, it takes a lot of faith before you put that blade on it. I promise you that.
What actually, like, that is intimidating because there's a large financial investment involved.
I mean, dude, you got $100 gunship. That's hard to find. And
I know.
You about to chop off the back end on maybe this might work.
Yeah. It's gold.
You got to go with it.
Yeah.
You know? You see where the rabbit hole goes.
Yeah, I commend it. I mean, like, it's
when we did the Z95, we came up with the idea on my couch. And you said, how you going to do it? And I said, no clue.
Yeah.
But I'll do it. And you just get a picture. And I really just start looking for what I need to have to make it happen. And a lot of times, the one thing that I found that's real common is that a lot of these Star Wars toys, they come from the same universe. So they're mods, you know, like the gunship, or even the Z95 is, at least I've got an X-Wing body to go with, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's a variation of something that may already exist.
Right. And that, I've never, the Ghost, I'm a little intimidated by the Ghost because I don't, a lot of people,
to me, it's the windows that scare me.
A lot of people have done it really well. Mm-hmm. And I want to do one the same size as the 08 Millennium Falcon.
I don't blame you. You know who I would actually talk to about that? Johnny Star Wars on Instagram.
I've seen his.
One.
His is beautiful.
He used like a foam, like a thin foam that still has stiffness to it. But I don't. He's not actually using plastics. And
see, but I don't know how playable that'll be.
Oh, it's extremely. You can cut it with scissors. You could, and it's stiff and it's strong. And the nice thing about it too, because it's a foam, it's going to be lighter than it would be if it was a plastic.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, my Z95, I bet you weighs 15 pounds.
As much as the barge, you think?
8.
Okay.
I'm telling you. You'll see. It's surprising when you grab it. Because you got to remember, there's layers upon layers of it. You know, whenever you're trying to come up with a smooth side,
Yep.
you know, basically all you've done is built a structure, and then within time, it's a layer, and it's got to dry, blend in, light
Now with that
sand.
one, you use Mondo, right?
That's the I use I got some right here. Plumber's putty.
Okay.
And the cool thing about it is that it makes great mud, like for the feeder walkers. But you can take it out and get a cup, and you can put your color in and mix it. Because part of the problem with a lot of that stuff is that when you try to paint over it, it keeps chipping off, and you get that white chip all the time. But if you just mix your paint in, all of a sudden, like say I'm trying to smooth out the joints between two panels, I put the gray in or black and make it real gunmetal gray, and then.
Now, what kind of paint do you use? An acrylic paint? What type of paint would you use when you mix them together?
I have to tell you, man, I've never found better than just the cheapo Hobby Lobby matte finish latex paint.
Okay.
And I think it varies between figures and vehicles.
Okay.
Because the problem I found with like the nice paint Citadel,
yep,
they dry so quick. You get these like chalk layers. Okay. It's not smooth. All of a sudden, it looks like everybody looks like they live on Mumbai Soju. You know, it's caked up.
Okay.
Whereas, like when he did Hawk, you know, those lines stay smooth. You don't want the bumps. Okay. And I find you get a lot of that with the Citadel, but the other stuff's just as inexpensive, way less expensive, and tends to work great.
Okay.
On the Z95, Copeland walked out and said, "Yeah, looks good. Gonna need to repaint it." Oh. But I really think you should definitely play with like chalk finishes and different finishes and see what you can come up with. That's you'd be amazed on how they lay on different materials. Just the paint on, say, a thin plastic, the paint on hot glue, the paint on different things, and it's all about building the layers and then just smoothing it out.
Okay.
You know what works great? A Mr. Clean eraser.
Really? How do you use the eraser?
Like the wall erasers? It's just a light wet sand. And it blends right out. Okay. Something about I guess maybe because the putty's water-based and the paint's a little water-based, and just that light brush will wipe it out.
What materials do you use like to make your vehicles, and what kind of like wings, panels, solid pieces? What things do you use to put them together?
Man, I'm gonna tell you what. Part of the problem with customizing is you'll turn into a plastic junkie. I keep to-go boxes. I keep Swipper Jet bottles. Whatever, like, you ever notice the bottom of like a 6-panel egg crate looks a lot like a Hammerhead jet back engine?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? It's there.
Yeah.
I'll plaster it up. I can make that work.
Yeah. So basically, anytime you finish with anything that's plastic, whether it's you just save the plastic for later on,
you turn into a hoarder, dude.
Okay.
You just because the level of thickness is important, because that matters with the bend or how much not bend I want. Yeah. If I want something with a little body to it, I might go to Lowe's and get like the plastic cut sheets. If I want something really smooth that's cheap, maybe I use the plastic off of a movie picture thing you buy at Walmart that has a cheap plastic frame and cut it up.
Okay.
If I want something smooth that I can blend out and glue, I'll use the top of a plastic Greek and Lebanese box. Or if it's a Sharpie pin and you need some gun turns for a Z95.
Okay. Oh, nice.
You know, those two end pieces, they
Yeah.
were originally X-Wings clamped on, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't like it because when I looked at the Z95 pictures, it was always that P-52 Mustang smoothness.
Yeah.
And you took a Sharpie, cut a slice in the middle, boom.
Wow.
All of a sudden it's smooth. And you just put a little white vinegar on it, and that peels that acrylic up, almost like staining a floor,
Okay.
a wood floor, a little white vinegar, and then it sticks to that slick plastic.
Nice.
At the tip, I took the gun turret, and I took a coat hanger, a wire coat hanger, and I put them next to each other. That way, you never get the bend.
Okay.
You know, you don't get the warped wings. But I mean, on the Z95, the side panels are U-wing 3.75s, the ones that swing out.
Yep.
That's the side panel. The engine in the middle is the U-wing engine part. The front side is an A-wing. The wings themselves are a V19 wings turned backwards. And that's all built on an X-wing resistance fighter.
Okay.
So
it's a true Frankenstein.
yeah, that's how you go with it. That's kind of how I approach it. I just try to, like, even the LAATC carrier, it's got a metal ruler in the middle.
I remember that, but that's what keeps the support.
Because you got to have enough support for the weight.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just kind of solving through the problems.
Yeah.
Because if not, dude, you'll hook that. I'm trying to carry a carrier, so if I hook up and
Now the Lat C doesn't have that parts of like a Slave 1 in there also?
I tried the Slave 1, but no, it's so like this is the Z95.
Yep.
This is part of the Millennium Falcon upside down.
Oh, wow.
This is the A-wing cockpit, which I took the middle lines out of and added the middle frames.
Okay.
That's a plastic P-52 Mustang side panel, just a model cut in half to give me that shape.
Yep.
These are U-wing panels, U-wing engine. These are, I think, just the back pieces that I built out. That is Greek and Lebanese food boxes. You got the magnets for the landing gear, which make really good. So if you want to take them off and hang them, you're good. And then if you want to put them on, bam. And then you don't have to come up with a mechanism.
Yeah.
You know, you can flow with it. And basically that, you know, these are the V19 wings, just instead of being one way or the other. That's a Sharpie pin.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
It's just a Sharpie pin painted.
That is awesome.
And like even like the lines, that Greek and Lebanese food was really cool because the plastic was so thin. If you want to get good lines, you could cut the plastic out.
Now, what do you use to do your cuts?
Depends. It could be anything from a razor blade to a Dremel.
Okay. And do you have any, like, what attachments on the Dremel do you feel are the best to get the cuts that you want?
You know, it's really, if you're gonna cut through, you just got the regular round blade. You know,
that sanding disc almost.
Almost, yeah.
It's almost like a stone-ish, like a stone disc almost, right?
And glasses.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you get a piece of sharp plastic in your eye, your night is done.
I agree. I've actually seen that round disc that you used to do the cuts. I've seen it go like through the safety glasses,
Ooh.
not like all the way to the point where it gets in your eye, but where it's into that, it's like jammed in there, and I'm sure part of it went through, but thankfully it still saved the eye. So
But
that to me, that's the most dangerous,
it's
probably the most dangerous tool on the Dremel, I would say.
it's really what you're cutting, because the plastics melt different and cut different. Like that resistance fighter, it had like a gray plastic. It was almost like recycled.
It was softer, right?
When you cut it and it melted, man, it slung up a lot. And that's just hot plastic coming on your face.
Yeah, it's sloppy, right?
Right. And then like all the Clone Wars stuff cuts real clean.
Yeah, it's almost like a PVC. It's a harder plastic.
But then say you're just looking for your Dremel to sand. It's really a hands-on thing. You gotta tool the bits, and you gotta see how it works with the materials.
Yeah.
Feel
your way through it.
I get people that ask me for recipes on stuff, and I'm like, man, I don't have a recipe. This is like it is what it is. Hey, some of your plans don't go right, and you take a left turn and you go with it.
Yep.
And sometimes you got to go all the way back to go.
Yeah.
Because it just
it's trial and error.
It is what it is.
So on your Z95 Headhunter, you had like some of those magnetically secured parts. Like what, like how do you know like what's gonna require a magnet? Like what do you look at and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to attach that with magnets. I'm gonna have to attach that, like secure it to the actual piece. Like what qualifies like a magnet worthy part?
Well, first off, I use magnets because your dad was a huge fan of magnets, and I was like, light bulb.
I know. He makes me use them all the time.
Magnets have a little learning curve. You're going to go out and buy the cheaper brown ones or the dark ones, and they don't work, and you have to go back and get the silver ones that are stronger. Mm-hmm. But magnets work because they turn. And that joint application is something you have to realize, because even like on my carrier, as the wings go down, that's a joint movement that all of a sudden you can accomplish on a toy that maybe you couldn't. And for like holding cockpits down, I mean, you want to be playable, so you get, the magnet cockpits down. You really just have to think about it, whether it's magnet worthy or not. I tried forever to figure out a way to somehow use a magnet to hold the walker that the carrier gunship. I just wanted to swoop down and grab one.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you know what I found? I bought magnets big enough to do it. It accomplished it. But getting them separated, that was a different thing.
Yeah.
Because they were on there, baby. And, then you say, all right, well, that didn't work. Let me let me drill through it. Put some hooks and ladders. And then you got to take a ship that you've been building for like 6 months. And you got to take a drill. And you got to drill right through it and hope this is the right decision.
That's scary.
Yeah. It's very scary. But you got to have, I mean, I wanted a goal. I was real specific with your dad when I was talking to him. I wanted a goal. I wanted that ship to hold the walker in the air. Because that's what I had never seen before.
And based on what we can see, you accomplished that because you got a walker hanging by it back there.
There you go. But see how much better does it look that it's hanging? There you go. Right? Yeah.
Thumbs up all the way. For sure.
I think people should remember Velcro. Like right now, I'm building something to ship to somebody, and magnets didn't work, and I went to buttons to get the packaging right.
Yep.
It's all about just figuring out outside the box a way to do it.
Okay, so during the process of your Z95 Hunter build, you sent us lots of like progress updates, like pictures, and he said like he saw that you were like heating up like a plastic in a skillet like on the stove, and we've never seen that before. Like, what was that all about? What were you doing with that?
Well, I'll tell you what I found. So when I get a panel ready to paint, right, I'm going to get a piece of plastic and I'm going to shape it. Like on the Z95. So basically I cut the nose out, right?
Yep.
You give a light sand, not with a Dremel, just by hand, because you want to make a little grid for the paint. And then I'll put a layer of coat on it. Now it's going to take 3 or 4 times. But if you put your oven at 150 degrees and you drop it in there for 2 minutes, it'll turn your drying time from 30 minutes to 2 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
And that's what I was doing.
Okay.
So I could do the 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer, 4 layer, and in 30 minutes I could do 5 layers instead of 2 days.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Wow.
So that's what I was doing with that.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, we were gonna ask about like the cockpit bubble on your Z95, and you said that was an A-wing that you customized for the cockpit, but we were wondering like if you used any like vacuum plastics to make any like canopies, bubbles, any of that.
Like green stuff?
No, they have a table that you could buy that's hooked up to a vacuum, and it has tons of little like holes across it, and then you could basically mold the shape that you want out of clay, and then you heat like a sheet of plastic, and then the vacuum sucks the plastic over the shape of your clay, and it'll create essentially like a
Like a
plastic
chalice.
in the exact shape that you would want.
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay.
I
Probably a good
live-
place to see something like that is
Face-off?
Face Off does stuff like that. It's like a show where they use it more. It's like prosthetic makeups, but sometimes some of the accessories that they wear, they'll do vacuum form. And we didn't at the time. We didn't know that it came from A-Wing. So when Elias had wrote the questions, he had asked maybe if you had done things through vacuum forming.
No, I have a 3D printer,
Oh, okay.
and I have no clue how to work it.
Okay. If
I
you
mean,
want, I have a bunch of print files that I posted on the blog for making different droids.
Dude, I have no idea how to make anything other than a wheel.
Well, the nice thing is these print files, all you have to do is print the file. It's already set. And there's probably about, I don't know, about maybe 14 different droids that you can print out from all the different films.
Well, I'm gonna I don't know if you know Crazy D.
No.
He makes a really good 6-inch version of the Solo speeder bike.
Oh,
Crazy
I
D.
know, I do. Yeah. All right, Crazy D Custom. Yep.
He's really
With the
keen.
K.
He's really keen on the 3D printing.
Yep.
So I just got to sit down with him and kind of figure it out. But see, if I go to 3D printing, it's kind of cheating.
No, well, if you're making the sculpt.
Nah, I hear you, but it's not the same. It's not a DIY. It's not the same as just coming up with a fix.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're
You
saying.
become all of a sudden much more AutoCAD engineer version.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying you can't come out with a great product, but that's very different than what I do at the moment.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, I just figure it out.
Yeah.
There's some times I wish I could have a printer, but I haven't figured out how to work it on that end.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I did, if it would. Man, it really looks like you got to know what you're doing to have something special come out.
Yeah, I feel so.
It's not like you just pop up a 3D printer and put in the file, and it prints you a speeder motorbike.
Especially because when you're dealing with stuff like scale and
everything I've seen, dude, they have to print them 7, 8 times.
Yeah, I did a. I'm probably even going to do a follow up. I did a introductory to 3D printing video with a customizer. Thank the Maker, and that's what. If you go through on our YouTube shows, there'll be 3D printing with Star Wars toys with Thank the Maker, and that might give you a little bit of help.
I think if you do it, if you're trying to customize stuff to maybe make some money,
yeah, it could be helpful.
I think 3D printing's the way you can go because you can hit rinse and repeat.
Yeah,
but for what I do, I'm not interested in selling any of them.
Yeah.
And man, I don't even know if I could reproduce them.
Yeah.
I promise
it's so expensive to reproduce.
If I tried to reproduce one, it would come out different.
Yeah.
Because it just is what it is and how you do them.
Yeah, because every cut's going to come out differently because it's the same thing with customizing. I have had to reproduce some of my action figures on very rare occasions, and no two come out the same. Usually the second one comes out better than the first one because, I learned some tricks and techniques on that first run that benefited me on the second. But yeah, no two customs are the same.
Usually it'll come out with a happy product probably half the time it took you the first time.
Yeah.
Because you've got a mental layout. But what'll end up happening is that you'll build one and then maybe put a different paint job on it.
Yep.
And you can hide some of the imperfections. But it would be very hard to build another Z95 replica.
I would agree.
That would, if I had to build another Walker or gunship, I built the Walker twice because the first one was destroyed, remember?
Yeah.
Really? It got destroyed? What happened?
Careful who you date, son. They will destroy your stuff. Hey, and rest assured, if you spent 6 months in a garage working on something, that's the first thing they're going for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that thing got painted pink and destroyed.
Yeah. Didn't you just dump paint on it?
It was all that. It was all that. But I built it.
Yeah.
I had to gear up for it. But I had basically the body and the legs left. But that was the big parts. Because really on the Walker, it's, how do you figure out 8 legs? Because you got to go buy a whole nother Walker just to chop up.
Yeah. Was that intimidating, knowing that you're taking this expensive toy and chopping it?
It's intimidating every time, dude.
This will lead us into our next
Every time you cut a gunship or a Walker, you're like, man, this is like one of my favorite toys.
Yeah. How did you even go about cutting it?
Dremel.
Okay.
I cut them all with Dremels.
Okay.
And then how do you fuse it together so securely? Like do you glue it together? Do you sculpt them together? How do you get that to hold so well?
It's all that. You'll find that you have your bottom layer materials. You'll have, the hot glue, the plumber's putty, 10-second quick dry glue, because every layer has a layer going on it. And then to smooth it, naturally you want to get a good solid base, and then you'll put your plumber's putty and smooth them out. And you might I've actually found that instead of the plumber putty is a good fill-in, but if you get a really thin plastic that's really flexible, like a fast food tray, you can bend that, and all of a sudden all I got is only 2 edges. to put plumber's putty on and smooth out.
Okay.
And there you go.
And
So
that plumber's putty is strong enough to. That's an epoxy, isn't it?
it's pretty straight.
Yeah. Now, with that plumber's putty, is it a flexible material? Is it dry more like a plaster? How does that dry?
It dries like a plaster.
Okay.
But it's not for building anything onto. That stuff is more for just smoothing out a line.
Okay. It's more like to create like clean lines, essentially.
Right, because you don't want the orange peel, and you don't want the because if you put hot glue, all of a sudden you'll see the bumps when they're in there.
Yep.
And ultimately, you want to get that smooth.
Yep.
For the details, Yeah.
It's
like seeing somebody paint their Star Wars figures with shiny paint, gloss. It's hard. Use a matte finish.
Yeah. Exactly.
Gloss is a paint that you have to use to
accent metallics
to make something stick out.
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden it's coming from just painting something to what paint and finishes and how do I apply them for what angles and what do I want to achieve.
Yep.
And then when you can do that, you're working on a level where you can start to make something that will end up on your dad's website.
And like when you like cut like all these like hand cut panels that you like have to sculpt, like how do you cut it so precisely? Because you said like you do it all by hand. Like do you like use rulers and like make precise like drawn lines? How do you cut everything so nice and smooth?
Well, you do what you can, but remember, what's nice and smooth is what you're seeing on the exterior finish layer. So all those imperfections have been smoothed out by the plastic.
Okay.
And that's part of the structure, body, layers. You're seeing something smooth and that's what you want to accomplish. But underneath that could just be two straight square panels that I put a piece of plastic that's smoothed over like that. And now I've blended them in here and painted over. And maybe put a colored line sideways just to throw you off.
And about your paint, like your paint jobs are beautiful, by the way. Like a lot of like your defined dark lines between like your panels. Do you like prime everything in like a black or a dark gray? Do you add washes? Like how many coats of washes do you dry brush? Like how do you get such defined dark lines in between all your shapes?
Well, I think most customizers will tell you, whether I know it or not, they'll paint something a primer gray because all of a sudden I got a shape to work with. It's like a progress check.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you have your nice dark lines that are in these lines. And you got to remember, a lot of what I'm cutting up are already Star Wars toys.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got their lines in there, their panels. And the layers just go on I'm building a toy over 3-4 months. So just the hands-on, working with the hands, the layers, it comes. And at the end, what I've generally found is I'll put a nice, fresh, matte white coat on it. And then I just get a pencil. And I just hit the edges. And then rub it down with my thumb. Works great. Or take a charcoal pencil and put it in a pencil grinder. And then just a little bit of charcoal. And that stuff will rub real good against a white matte finish.
Okay.
And
the key to a good paint job and a good custom, don't overthink it. Know when to stop. When you're cutting on something, man, and you want it to be smooth and great, stop. Go see because once you've cut too much, you're out.
Yeah.
But
You can always take away. You can't have.
The really key to a good custom is to always look like the picture, not the extreme version of the picture. The picture, and the character will be in the grid. You don't need like just some guy dumping black paint and wash all over everything. You know, less is more. And you can always add.
That's like one of our personal mottos around the house, customizing less is more. We say it all the time.
Yeah, it's something you learn. I mean, you get a great idea, right? And you all of a sudden you're in the zone, man, and you're going for it. Just can't overdo it.
Especially look, when we paint, like if you put on too many coats, it'll get all thick and chalky. Like you got to be careful. Like you got to know when to stop.
And you know what? You got to know when. Dude, it's going to take you a week to put that feature in it. And no one's going to notice. It just little things like, man, that'd be cool. But what's the point? And you know, you want to make it for yourself, but itemizing it like that on big projects helps. Because you want to get them up and out there, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. And all of your like really amazing projects, like your Z95, your Lot C gunship, you lit it up with like LEDs. Like you do like the light pads and like the floor of your walker. Like what do you do with like the LED mechanics? Like is it battery powered? Like how do you place the lights in there? Do you like kind of like embed it in there during the build phase? Like how do you just work with the LEDs?
Well, the one thing about LEDs, and this is a learning curve, they go in before the paint. The wiring goes in as you're building the unit because you got to lay wiring and piping. You know, you got to have a schematic for it. You don't want to go in after the fact because it's just a lot more work, and all of a sudden you're going to break things you connected. And if you break that piece, there ain't another piece like it in the world. You got to make another. So you go in with the wiring. All I ever really do is I went on eBay. I buy, $20 worth of the LED lights, connect positive, negative wires. For me personally, I wouldn't be a kid interested into a toy I got to plug in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So batteries make mobility. You know, you want to fly a ship. I want to grab my ship and I want to
run around.
Right. I want to go around the house. And I still want to have my lights. So I found that the little slim battery packs, the 32 gauge or whatever they are, the little double packs, you just find creative ways to mount them into the ships.
What batteries do those take? Is it like AAA, like those like little cylinder ones? Like what battery do you use?
Well, I use these.
Okay.
Because they're thin. I'm only working with so much space.
Yeah.
And then, the 32s give enough power. But then you take like this Y-wing, right? You'll see one battery pack right here. And this one is right here and it's painted.
Mm.
So that way you got them accessible to play with. And then you can just boom, boom.
Oh, wow. That's gorgeous.
And there you go. And see, even like on this, there's 2 layers of plastic working with the light. So it gives that depth, because you want to have the lines, lines there. But that would be, kind of put them in there. And to me, the lights just give a big play feel.
That's landing at Point Rain, right? That one?
What's that?
That's the landing at Point Rain, the Y-Wing?
Yeah, I hadn't really posted it yet, but
that's right.
I met a new babe and she's kind of.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
You were when you put in the LEDs, you had to like plan things. Like, do you like what's your process? Like, what's your design, your plan, your build, your paint? Like, what's your order, and like how many different steps like of planning do you go through to get a project done?
Man, you really got to look at the project and then probably review some of the Clone Wars episodes, and you start looking for, okay, where's a cockpit shot? I don't want to put lights where lights don't go.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's no lights, I don't want to add lights just to add lights. That's part of going.
Bringing it in less is more.
Right. You only want to add what they got.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to plan it out, because you're going to have battery packs. You don't have to plan out where the battery pack will go, because you can have long wire just hanging out. But where that light's going to be, it's going to be in there, and then you're about to encase it in hot glue, paint layers, everything.
Yeah.
And you got to have that wired out beforehand. That's a learning curve. Because if you're going to try to fish tape wires to something already built, that's 10 times harder.
Yeah.
You know, you want to have that before you ever glue anything in. You want to see what room you got to work with, and then just lay your wires. And then there's nothing wrong with tying in a hot and negative wire. It's just running it out the side. Maybe you just cut them and stick them in and cover it up later. But the wiring's there. And you can't ever go back and put the wiring.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have the lights in and stuff. But I'm a big fan of the lights. I like them.
Oh, yeah. No, it looks great when you do it.
They give the fun, but you got to make sure they're accurate. Because the first time I put lights on one was a gunship, and they were orange lights. And the first thing the kid told me was, I thought the gunship lights were red.
Oh.
But, you know, hey, he thought the gunship lights were red.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh,
you know, but you think you just be excited you got lights. And orange look cool. But then you got to realize as you go about this, to really make a custom, you got to do the research.
Screen accuracy.
I agree. There's always something to be like, oh, it should be like this, or that's not quite right. I've been corrected many a time.
The Y-wing I just finished, your dad sent me a picture of one that was really good. But then when I got into investigating on it, some of the cuts and some of the lines weren't, I hate to say it, but they weren't perfect.
Yeah.
They weren't 100% accurate.
Yeah.
And for me, part of the challenge is to get it as close as I can.
Yeah.
And, you know, just like adding, like on this Y-wing, right? I just added a little piece of plastic to make it look like the line went up in. And just things like that. Right there.
Yeah.
Just a little difference, just one layer. And all of a sudden you get to you know, like their lines might just go straight. Because that's the easy line. That's 3 less paint cuts. 3 less tape lines.
Yep.
But that's not how it does in the system. You know, you want it to be, boom, accurate. And just how, like right here, in the actual image, there's 2 vents that are white. On the one I had, they were all red. They just kind of, you know, went around. But it's the little lines and differences over the whole project that when you put it together, boom, you got what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And in your photo shoots, like you do like full scenes, like you paint up the background, like you use fog machines and lasers, like what can you tell us about that, about all your amazing photo shoots?
Well, like the table you see behind me, That's like two sheets of plywood, right? And the whole top of those plywood is covered with a metal top because all my walkers have magnets at the bottom of their feet, so they don't fall over.
Nice.
They attach. And you can get things like this little guy right here. You know, I just came up with a way, and then you put the magnets in, and now this guy looks, you know, they sit on the air.
That's nice.
And especially with the walkers and like the big guys, like the scout walkers, man, they always fall. I mean, they do. But if you take the magnets and you put a little hole and you cut those squares in a circle, you put a magnet in and they on, dude. They stick. And it makes it really great. Like I have cables that hang on the back. I've got a whole Yavin 4 base in the back. Like,
yeah, that thing's amazing.
It's like 6 foot wide.
You know what I wanted to ask you? You know how you used old cell phones to make some of the screens in there, and you actually used some, I guess, targeting and just some of the scenes that were actually from A New Hope. How did you get those to like stay loaded into the cell phones to be functional within your diorama?
Well, what I did is, you know, you can go on whatever YouTube and have that scene, right?
Yep.
So I just had one of the kids' old phones.
Yeah.
I just copied a link to the home screen.
All right.
And then I cut out a spot where the phone would go in.
Yep.
Press play.
Nice.
And then it plays.
That's really cool.
And, you know, you just try to make the scenes. I think my next big project, man, I really like a Yavin project. I want to finish the Yavin. It just needs some polishing, but I want to build Geonosis. It's going to be a big one.
Into our last question. And
I want to build a Geonosis that's 6 foot tall.
Wow, that would be amazing.
Like that size Geonosis with the Coliseum, the factory in it.
That might need to be a backyard project.
That'd be beautiful.
That's the Geonosis I would like to build.
That would be cool. What would you construct something like that out of? Like concrete or?
A lot of animal plant foam board.
Okay.
Those work great because once you put plaster on that foam board, it kind of scrapes off, and then all of a sudden I got that rock feel.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Geonosis is a favorite for me. I loved Battlefront, the original one.
Yeah.
You know, Landing at Point Rain was great. I mean, they were great.
You know what I would recommend doing too? Check out The Budget Jedi. He did, I want to say it was his Rancor pit, or I think it was his Rancor pit, where he used almost like a spray foam.
You can do that. I thought about approaching it from a chicken wire perspective.
Yeah.
And kind of shaping it. And that might be a way to go. You just never know.
No, I know.
But yeah, I've done stuff like that for Mardi Gras stages and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Like build them. We built giant mushrooms with chicken wire wrapped around, and the umbrella tops that you get at Home Depot.
Wow.
Yep.
And foamed them out.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you're gonna build something that size.
Yeah.
Again, you just have to go really into planning. You would almost have to build the interior and stash it in like a shelf and then foam around it.
Yeah, exactly.
To make sure it is what it is. If you don't build it layer by layer.
Yeah. What tools do you think are necessary like the must-have tools for someone who wants to build Star Wars custom vehicles?
A Dremel.
Dremel. That's the only one you would say?
A Dremel. A drill.
Yep.
And man, that's really about all I use.
That's not bad.
Wow.
And then from
That's
that
encouraging.
point, it's just, everything else is just paint sticks and razor blades and stencils and paintbrushes and stuff like that. And I mean, you might want a soldering thing if you're going to put electricals in.
Yeah.
The number one thing you need is patience and imagination. You build anything, dude.
I agree.
You just got to figure it out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And patience and commitment.
Yeah.
Because commitment will shake a lot of them loose.
Yep.
They just hit a roadblock, man. Can't figure it out, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get back to it, and time passes and it never happens. The number one thing you have to have is commitment. I'm going to start a project, and I'm going to finish a project. And then after that, it's just whether you win or the project wins.
Yeah. Hopefully it's us, but yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I've got like when like you literally end up with stuff like this.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's just parts. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah.
You just chop them up. Like.
Oh.
Now, do you get a lot of that stuff as like garage sales? Like, do you go to like
That's
Salvation Army or?
That's the Z95 engines that I chopped off.
Oh, wow.
See them from the front?
Yep.
Came off the U-wing. You buy them off Walmart clearance sale, baby.
That too. Oh yeah, clearance.
That you do. I bought 8
all.
U-wings for $10 a piece.
That's great.
Every one of them, the wings bent, but they got a lot of plastic on them.
Yeah, they do.
And it's a bargain's bargain. I'm waiting to clean house on the big TIE fighters. They stacking, dude. I don't know what happened the last week. They landed left and right at Walmart.
Really?
I'm telling you, my Walmart's got 20 of them.
Holy! Is it the one
the big wing?
Link one?
It's the big wing.
Oh wow!
Hey, I'm telling you, they had 2 or 3 forever, and now every Walmart I've gone into, they got like 15 of them.
Holy
and they
cow.
will be $19.95 before it's over with.
Oh, I'm sure. I am sure.
I guarantee you. And that's a great ship. I don't like the pop-off wings and all that, but
yeah, but still.
At least it doesn't have a Nerf attachment.
Yeah.
God, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Moving into our last question, you were talking about how you wanted to do like a Geonosis, a ghost. Like, what goes into your process of picking your next project, and what project do you want to do next?
I kind of am at the point right now. I guess I'm in the phase of cleaning up projects. I want to finish the ones like my Y-wing was one I wanted to finish. I just did. I got my 5s right.
Nice.
Like, I'll tell you this. So here's classic customizing and growing. You ready? This was an original 5s that I did.
That
Painted chest. Pretty good.
Yeah.
But it ain't that one.
Oh yeah.
And it's those things, the right armor.
Yep.
is the ammo pack on the right side?
Yeah, I had to do. They had to cut it away, and then
Hey, that's your dad.
yeah.
Your dad always slides a little. Well, you know, the other one was on the other side. Just but
Well,
he
it
always
happens to
gives
me
me.
like when I'm about to finish a custom, like I end up going back and forth in between him and the kitchen table so many times. He's like, "You have to fix this," and I'm like,
I know.
"I do, don't I?"
You got to get the paint color right. Oh, I already painted it. Yeah, it's not
That drives me
right.
crazy. But
And I remember like sometimes like if I get like one project where you don't have to like do that back and forth, I'm like, oh my god, I did it. I didn't have to go back and forth this time.
But you know what though? And you have to get an opinion from someone who's not vested to get an honest result.
some people aren't always honest, though. That's the problem. That's the tough part.
but a lot
But
of
I'm
times,
glad that he's painfully honest with me.
Copeland is painfully honest with me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: Copeland made a better Z95 because I had it just about all wrapped up.
Yeah.
And then I had some bumps on the side, and he was like, "Dude, I mean, the whole world's watching. What you gonna do with the bumps?" And I was like, "What do you mean? That's impossible to get out." And then that's when I sent you that picture of the plastic that I smoothed out with the rubber bands around it, gluing it on.
Yep.
And basically, I just figured out a way to put another smooth layer over it, which is something you can accomplish if you have the determination to accomplish the right product.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Do you spend another 2 weeks getting it 10% better?
Yeah.
And those things are really the things that separate, I think, as you start making product that's really, really something special.
Yep.
You know, it's not the time, it's the fraction of the seconds of difference in the race.
Yeah.
And those little details, you know, like that fives, you know, it don't have the right body armor. Whereas that one is just not a chest painted, it's actually body armor with the right thing. And those little details, you know, on the Z95, I needed smooth round outsides, not just gun ports.
Yeah.
So you got to go out and find a material that's staring at you, holding you in your hand, and you never saw it. You Sharpie. Boom, there you go. Yep. And you just find a way to do it, but it's not being intimidated by that. It's just figuring out a way to win.
Yeah. Is there anything that you'd like to add that you think people should know about that we didn't ask?
Any toy you want to play with, you can make. Anything you want. Doesn't matter. You can do it. Whatever toy they haven't made, I wish they'd make, whatever it is, you can make it. You can have fun making it. And always be nice to everybody else.
Yeah.
Because we just try to have some fun, baby.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, dude, everybody's learning. You never stop learning. That's the fun. You just want to, and you want to share.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid somebody's going to steal something from you. Share it. See what they can build.
Yeah. Pass on what you have learned.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, get to Mars. That's cool.
Yeah.
Just come up with stuff, man. I think I'd really like to see the vehicles come about. I don't think people envision or comprehend what they can build from the vehicle. You know, the figures. Repainting a figure is about as low hanging fruit as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got to build anything. And then I really think you can get into building some figures, swapping out bodies, boiling, using green stuff, you know, making a lot like what he's done. You make some genuine, like, wow.
Yeah.
But the projects, the vehicles are bigger. They're going to take a financial investment.
Yeah. And I think that could be a big
Discouragement.
Yeah,
there's three walkers in one open top.
yeah,
You know, you just chopping and bopping.
yeah,
And but there's only one open top walker
yeah,
anywhere.
yeah. It's true.
And you just gotta have faith that you can do it.
Yep,
But you can build anything you want to play with out there, you can build.
I'd agree. I've only made one vehicle, but that's it.
Man, I think vehicles are the linchpin of 3.75 Star Wars that will always tip 6-inch.
I agree.
You will never have a successful 6-inch market.
Nope.
Never. There's a market for 6-inch.
There is.
There will never be a vehicle market for it.
Nope.
They're all
Well,
nice.
TIE
and they all
Fighter
fly.
did not go over well in the 6-inch line.
If you try to get bigger than a battle pack with like the Sand Dune Trooper,
Yeah.
with the dinosaur thing,
Dewback?
The Dewback.
that's as big as you can go.
I would agree.
After that, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
And I tell you
Too
this,
much.
I don't need something else the size of the barge.
Yeah.
I mean, the barge is awesome.
Yeah.
But it's so big.
It is.
And
I had to build custom shelving yesterday just to deal with it.
I know you'd think it was gonna. Dude, your picture looked like it was just hanging. It was like,
Yeah,
well,
and
ain't
it
gonna
had
work.
only been on there maybe a half hour, and it started to bow. And I had to put it on the floor, and I had to like go back and reinforce.
You need to go to Home Depot or Lowe's.
Oh, it's done now.
But you need to get these. You need to just anchor down your shelf.
We got.
I have them already.
Hey, you just soon cut and dry it, dude. That's what works. You know.
Yeah, I got 2 of those yesterday.
Like my whole.
Yep.
You know, they're all shelves.
Oh yeah, look at that.
You have a nice workshop.
Yeah, workshop's excellent.
And then, I mean, you just got to find room for them. You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty cool.
So I hang the, ship stuff like that.
Yep.
And then you can make something, little diorama on your shelf or something. Which, by the way, that's the Disney Store exclusive one.
Yeah, isn't that one awesome?
Very awesome. It's really good. It does some cool electrical stuff.
It's sitting behind us, but it's lower on that. It's actually 1, 2, 3. It's 4 shelves down from the barge.
Cool. Hey, dinner's ready.
All right. Thank you for coming on with us.
Does that go good?
I really appreciated your time.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, brother.
Hey. Have a good night, everybody, and may the force be with you.
I got a surprise coming for you.
Thank you.
I do. I ain't telling you. But watch. You'll like it.
All right.
It's a congratulations for your win.
Oh, thank you.
You got it, brother. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Have a good night, man.
Take care, brother.
Dinner. All right.
Hey, if you need something, let me know.
All right, we'll do.
Send me a link to it.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to edit it probably in the morning and then post it up.
All right, cool deal.
All right, you got it.
Have a great one.
All right, you too.